Thanks to the support as a channel member, Charlie Pears. Well, it's a fixture we've been waiting for all season. We are today making our return to King's Lynn. I should probably avoid putting my King's Lynn shirt on, shouldn't I? Hello and welcome to part 5 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have got that glorious return to King's Lynn. We're also away against South Shields. I say it's going to be a glorious return. It probably won't be, because we've discovered awful form, really for the first time in the history of this series. Since you were last with me, we've only played 4 games, but we've lost 3 of them. We lost to Warrington, and then we lost at home twice to Blythe and Stalybridge. And this is what the league table looks like. So all of a sudden, from the heroics against Boston in the last episode and looking like we were in with a good chance of winning the title, all of a sudden we've been dragged back into this chasing pack of playoff contenders. And I don't care for it, because everybody knows if you go into the playoffs without momentum, you may as well not bother going into them. And I fear that might be what's happening. We've got, 8, 9 games left. I think we need to win 7 or 8 of those just to get ourselves back into some kind of form. And that in turn might get us back into a title race. But I think that ship has probably sailed with a 7-point gap above us now. Boston need to go through the kind of rough form that we've been going through. And it just seems pretty unlikely, which is a bit of a shame. We have had a little bit of transfer news since the last episode. As you can see, there have been a few offers coming for some of our players, including an enormous £375 offer from Cambridge for George Wyatt. I am turning them down at the moment. Maloney's, though, is going to be joining Derry in July because he's coming to the end of his contract. And we have a lot of players coming to the end of contracts. We've sent a few more out on loan, which has got us a little bit closer to our wage budgets. But because of this situation I've got myself into, I can't offer contract extensions to almost anybody. I've managed to offer a few, but not to the players that you'd think I'd be desperate to. I mean, these are the ones, because I could basically, they're useful players, but they're not the stars, but they didn't want a huge pay increase to sign again. So I got those ones tied down. But if you look at some of our really good players, Hull, for example, who is wanted by Bristol Rovers, why would he sign a new contract with us when he knows he can go to them for free in the summer? He doesn't believe that our squad is strong enough to play at a level matching his own ambition. It's a risk you take at this level, because you sign players and you don't want to sign the players for a 3-year contract and then have them turn out to be a flop. Babajide, for example, I thought he was going to be awesome, but it's turned out actually not very good. Really glad he's only on a 1-year contract, because a 3-year contract would have been a disaster, because we would be stuck with him. So you kind of have to do it until you get a feel for the player, and then once you get a feel for them, try and offer them an extension. But sometimes they're so good that by the time you know they're good, everyone else does too, and then they don't want to sign for you. In other news, Jago Lott has done a bit of a Mick Powell and has now shot up to a 3.5-star current ability player. But I assume we're not going to be able to offer. Oh, how is he a fringe player? He's the second best player at the club. And you know what? We might offer him this contract. Kind of have to now. What's he on now? £100 a week. Let's try and extend him just still on £100 a week. A yearly wage rise, but it's only a 1-year contract. That's going to give him a pay rise in the summer, isn't it? That's what's happening there, and we don't want that in there either. This is the problem. This is the problem, boys and girls. Right, we're just going to exclude them from negotiation and worry about everything else. I don't mind giving him £150 a week. The problem is, obviously, we're already over our wage budgets, and now we've got another £40 over, and that's the other thing with renewing contracts now. I'd like to give Mottram a new contract, but he's going to want more money. He's only on £95 a week at the moment. And if we go too far over that wage budget now, I'm going to get myself sacked. So let's not do any more of that for now. There's a reason I wasn't messing around with it too much. So today's team for the game against King's Lynn, we've got Eastwood in goal, a back four of Maloney, Lacey, Wyatt and Taylor, Brown and Mottram in midfield, Hull, Jones and Smith behind Babajide up front. Yeah, that's right. Babajide's playing, because Why not? We're in terrible form, so we're trying something a little bit different. You never know, he might earn himself a new contract here. Let's have a look as well to see if there's going to be any players we recognise in the Kings Lynn team from our glory days at Kings Lynn in non-league to legend. Obviously, we are a good few years into the future, so no, there's nobody still there, which is a shame. But it's nice to hang around the walks again. Kings Lynn have won 3. Oh, see, they're a good team playing well with the underdogs. That's interesting, actually. It's a long time since I've noticed us be described as underdogs in a league game. So it shows just how much our reputation is kind of levelling out a little bit now. We're not having the big cup runs anymore, which is super frustrating because I liked the big cup runs, and we're not an all-conquering team. It'd be interesting. I'll try and remember to do it in between the two matches to just have a look at the season preview screen just to see where the media expect us to finish at this point, because we started the summer, I think, second favourites, went up to favourites for a little while. By the time the season started, though, we were down to second favourites again, and I haven't looked since. But to see us marked as underdogs for any league game suggests that the game now thinks that there are teams in this league better than us, Kings Lynn being one of them, and Kings Lynn are down in 15th place, but have scored against us. Oh, it's all going wrong. We only had to get into the playoffs. We don't have to win them. I don't want to see your replays. Replays upset me. I don't think there's... It's a dangerous thing to say. I don't think there's any real danger of us falling out of the playoffs completely. I think it would have to be a super spectacularly poor run of form for that to happen. But there is the danger that if that does happen, we've then failed board expectations for both cups and wage budget and league. If we fail, it doesn't matter how many promotions we've had previously. If I fail every criteria that I'm judged on this season, when I'm pretty sure my contract is up this summer, so it's not even a case of needing to sack me. If I'm failing every criteria, then Mick Powell might just not renew my contract, which would be a disaster. And I don't really have a contingency plan for it, other than have my son take over like we did years ago with the Bolton battle. But that was a different club. But if I get sacked, what do I do? I don't know what I do. Oh, I think that's a little negative. I'm not going to get sacked, but now we're down to 10 men. It doesn't rain, it pours, everybody. Oh, my word. I cannot catch a break in this series at the moment. You said you wanted it to be more of a challenge. Here's a challenge. I think we probably need a tactical change, actually. If this is going to be 4 defeats in 5 games, I think that probably, for a team that's supposed to be in a promotion push, 4 defeats in 5 games is probably enough of an alarm bell for me to say, yeah, let's try doing something a little bit different, because what we're doing now obviously isn't working anymore. I do think we probably need to freshen the team up with some new players, which has always been the theme of this team all the way through. But we're not in a position to do it because of the money. We need more money, and now we're 2-0 down. I mean, it's lovely to see Kings Lynn winning 2-0 at home. We all had a lot of fun enjoying them do this kind of thing previously. But I don't want them to do it today. Oh dear. I might actually put my Kings Lynn shirt on for the second half, just so it looks like this is what I wanted all along. We want them to have a late playoff push. Right, team talk, underdogs. I mean, super underdogs at this point, because we're down to 10 men and none of those 10 are playing very well. Maloney already got 1 foot out the door, joining Derry in the summer. Mottram to Jones, back to Mottram again, and Jones again, which probably bring Lot on, the player we've just offered a pay rise to. Nobody should be getting pay rises in the current environment at this football club. Maloney with a deep cross finds Taylor. Taylor is in, surely. Any other day, that goes in. Their defender just missed his header completely and left Taylor in acres of space. Hull now with the corner. It ends up with Jones. Jones back to Wyatt. And again, nothing comes of it. Right, I think we need to shuffle the attack around a little bit. I know it's a little bit early, but Smith needs to go up front where we know he's better. And Agbonlahor needs to come on. And we need to go back to a front three that we know can work. It hasn't worked for a month now, but I think it was pretty clear that that one that we've used today was working even less. Smith out on the wing, not a good idea. Agbonlahor not on the pitch, not a good idea. You got to try these things though. There you go, we can get Lot on in midfield as well. Probably should have happened much sooner than it has. Let's leave them that way around. And any more ideas, anyone? Get Agintas on because Maloney's leaving, so we may as well play the guy who might be here next year, although as with the majority of the squad, he's out of contract in the summer. So I've got some tough decisions ahead of me about who we're going to keep and who we're going to move on. And based on current form, I ain't keeping very many of them. We've got 9 away fans though, that's new. 9 people have made the trip. I mean, it's a relatively short trip from Boston to Kings Lynn. It's probably as close as from Boston. Did I say Boston to Kings Lynn? I meant Bourne to Kings Lynn. In my head, we were managing Boston. Bourne to Kings Lynn is a little bit further than Boston to Kings Lynn, I think. But I guess this would be considered another one of our local derby games, albeit I believe they're over in Norfolk. They're at the other side of the border in Kings Lynn. So it's not a Lincolnshire derby. But either way, it's a local rival who have comprehensively beaten us and given our promotion push a severe blow. Interestingly, are Boston playing today or had they already played? Because it's still just a 7-point gap at the top. So maybe Boston are leaving the door just cracked open a little bit for us. Hull gets a late consolation goal, but it doesn't matter at this point. It's the 91st minute. We're not going to score another 3, are we? And we really needed to win today to start to apply some pressure to Boston again, and we haven't done it. We're going to get the aggressive head on and shout at them, and they're all fired up. They want to be fired up. We've got a long trip to South Shields now, and we're going to hopefully win a football match. It's been ages. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're going back to what we know. This lot don't know, but the ones who were here before know. We're going back to the 4-2-4. It served us so very well for so very long. Maybe, I mean, we've got to try something, haven't we? Eastwood in goal, Agintas, Lacey, Wyatt and Taylor at the back, Mottram and Jones in midfield, Hull and Agbonlahor on the wings, and then Smith and Babajide together up front. Let's try this one and see if this works. Oh, we need to win a football match. Let's have a passionate team talk. I don't want to be underdogs. How are we Right, in fact, no, not aggressive. Let's be assertive. I expect nothing but a win from this match to cut our recent run of bad results. I think that is a completely reasonable team talk to give in the circumstances. Boston, they're playing Kettering. Inexplicably, still only 7 points ahead of us. We're still 10 points ahead of Ken Charlery's Newark flow serve. Boston are already ahead against Kettering, though. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams in the chase. I mean, Nuneaton and Kings Lynn are both in there as well. We've got to get back to some kind of form, and hopefully a little bit of wing play is how we get there. I mean, we've got 2 very good wide players, 1 very good striker, and Babajide. It has been the story of this season. We didn't have enough strikers at the start, and it's become clear how much of an issue it is. Because as soon as Smith has stopped scoring, which is what's happened recently, he's hit a fairly dry patch. There you go, we'll do the underdog team talk now. Smith's hit a dry patch, and there's just got no goals coming from anywhere else. Hull on the wing, as we saw in the last game, it was only his 5th goal of the season. I'm used to wingers getting into double figures in the system. In this system, the system that we were playing before, the likes of Leahy previously would be pushing 20 goals by the end of the season. But Hull, as good as he is, he's clearly not a goal scorer on the wing. And when we've only got 1 player up front who's scored all season, but I think Babajide has scored. I hope he's scored. I haven't actually checked. Agbonlahor is probably getting close to double figures from the other wing as well. But There is definite work to do next summer. I almost think it will be a bit of a blessing for us to not get promoted this year, because I don't think this team is ready for another promotion. 4-1 now to Boston against Kettering. They're definitely not bottling it, are they? We've only had 3 shots in the entire game and not one of them has been on target. And Smith has been awful. We're going to swap these all around. Oh no. We're just going to do a triple substitution. We're going to go to positive and we're going to ask them to get creative and hopefully find a goal from somewhere. South Shields know that if they score, they push up into the playoffs themselves. So there's definitely a reason for them to want to open the game up a little bit, but we've not had a shot on target. It's all gone wrong. 5-1 now to Boston against Kettering. We are still in second place because everyone else in the division looks a bit rubbish as well. Aggressive, far from what I've just seen. It's demotivated a few of them. I don't care. I don't care. Stop being rubbish. We're still in second place. I don't understand. Look at the state of this form. Look at it. Look at it. Oh. Right. We are very close to the end of the season. So tomorrow's episode will be the final 2 matches of the regular season. We are likely to have playoffs after that. We're obviously not winning the league. There is a chance we'll fall out of the playoffs if we carry on as we are. But we'll do Curzon, Ashton and Guiseley tomorrow and then see where we go from there. If you've enjoyed... I don't know what that was. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. I've said video too many times there. And thank you very much for watching.